Hi everyone. Once again we are witnessing the classic Pakistani playbook hide the truth first and then pretend it never existed. A mysterious list appears online with the names of over 150 of their soldiers who reportedly lost their lives. And as if by magic, the list disappears. But this is not some amateur comedy act. This is Pakistan's military establishment trying to bury its own casualties. The problem is, we no longer live in 1971. In today's digital age, information does not vanish simply because Rawalpindi wishes it away. Screenshots, archives, digital trails, everything remains out there for the world to see. And yet, Pakistan thinks it can suppress reality, fool its own citizens, and continue selling the illusion of military invincibility. The question is, how long can they keep lying to their own people before the cracks become too big to hide? Pakistan has once again displayed its world-class expertise, not in winning wars, but in deleting lists. Recently, a sensitive military leak exposed details of more than 150 soldiers lost in combat. For a brief moment, the truth surfaced. And then, like every inconvenient truth in Pakistan, it was immediately erased. But here's the irony. Deleting a file doesn't delete reality. Families still know, soldiers still know, and the people still whisper. What this shows us is the constant tug-of-war inside Pakistan's power structure. Transparency versus control. The generals want to project strength. But behind closed doors, they are terrified that admitting losses would shatter the illusion of invincibility. And who suffers the most? The common people, the families, left in confusion, denied closure. The society, fed propaganda while being cut off from the truth. Now let's talk about the so-called deleted list controversy. For a brief moment, a list naming over 150 Pakistani soldiers who reportedly died in operations was visible online. And then, vanished. Deleted so fast you'd think it was never there. But this isn't some magic trick. This is Pakistan's military censorship at work. The problem? In today's world, digital footprints don't simply disappear. Screenshots, archives, backups, they all guarantee that once the truth is out, it spreads faster than Pakistan's propaganda machine can chase it. So instead of hiding their weakness, this panic deletion has only fueled speculation, exposed their insecurity, and raised bigger questions about what else is being buried. The real game here isn't just about a list of casualties. It's about secrecy and information warfare. You see, managing news about military losses is as critical as managing the battlefield itself. A soldier lost in combat is not just a number. It has a direct impact on the psychology of an entire nation. And Pakistan knows this very well. That's why they go to extreme lengths to suppress the scale of their military casualties. Because the truth has the power to erode public's morality, to shake the confidence of the people in their own system. But secrecy comes at a price. Families of soldiers are often left in the dark, sometimes even denied the right to grieve openly. The public is fed half-truths and propaganda, designed to project an image of strength while masking internal weaknesses. This creates a false sense of invincibility, but deep inside, it damages the very fabric of society's resilience. When people realize they are constantly being lied to, the trust between the state and its citizens collapses. And let's not forget, the strategic use of secrecy is not just about hiding losses. It is also about shaping political outcomes. By pretending losses are minimal, the leadership tries to shield itself from criticism, silence opposition, and maintain its grip on power. In fact, in a country like Pakistan, where the military already dominates civilian politics, this kind of information control becomes a weapon of governance in itself. So in modern conflict, warfare isn't only about soldiers with guns, it's also about who controls the narrative. And in this battle of perception, Pakistan may win the short-term game by hiding reality, but it is slowly losing the long-term war of credibility, both at home and abroad. This incident raises two very important questions. First, what does it do to Pakistan's national morale when the truth leaks out, and people see that the state is hiding the deaths of its own soldiers? Trust in leadership erodes. The ordinary citizen begins to question, if they can lie about this, what else are they lying about? Second, what does it mean for regional peace and stability? Neighbors and rivals look at such secrecy and say, if Pakistan hides its own losses, how can they be trusted at the negotiating table? It creates an image of unreliability, a nation more focused on suppressing truth than pursuing peace. In short, the deleted list wasn't just about casualties. It has exposed the fragility of Pakistan's internal confidence and its standing in the region. One of the biggest challenges in situations like this is verifying authenticity. A document may appear online, but without clear confirmation, it's difficult to know whether it's genuine, altered, or even deliberately planted. This is why relying on a single leak or a single source is risky. The more responsible approach is multi-source verification, cross-checking with independent observers, open-source intelligence, satellite imagery, or credible watchdogs. Only when multiple sources align can we start building a clearer picture. At the same time, both governments and analysts must be conscious of credibility. Releasing unverified claims damages trust, while withholding too much information creates suspicion. The truth, therefore, lies in careful balance between confirmation, transparency, and accountability. The broader implications of such hidden losses are significant. Internationally, the narrative shifts. Pakistan is seen not as a strong, transparent state, but as one desperately hiding its weaknesses. This directly influences policy and relations, because no country wants to deal with a partner that cannot even be honest about its own battlefield realities. In the long run, secrecy may protect Pakistan's image at home, but globally it only deepens mistrust and isolation. In every conflict zone, there's a global pattern. Governments try to control the flow of information as keenly as they control the battlefield. Why? Because shaping the story helps secure public support, which is as vital as soldiers on the ground. But the truth is, in modern wars, the battle is not only of bullets and borders, it's equally of narratives, where controlling information often decides how long a government can sustain both the conflict and its own legitimacy. In the digital age, secrecy has become a paradox. Governments may try to bury information, but digital technology gives ordinary citizens the power to preserve and share it instantly. Screenshots, archives, open-source platforms, these ensure that inconvenient truths don't disappear. And in modern conflicts, controlling information flow is as crucial as controlling territory. The lesson is simple. In today's world, transparency isn't a choice anymore. It's an inevitability. So friends, what lessons can we draw from Pakistan's deleted list controversy? First, the importance of transparency in conflict. When a state deliberately hides the sacrifices of its own soldiers, it not only denies dignity to the fallen, but also erodes public trust. Second, the challenge of verification in the digital age. A single leak can mislead, but too much secrecy only fuels suspicion. That's why relying on independent verification and open-source evidence is so critical. And third, the tough balance between security and accountability. Every nation has a right to protect sensitive information, but when secrecy becomes the default, it transforms into censorship. In the end, Pakistan's attempt to delete the truth has only amplified the controversy. And perhaps the biggest irony here is this. In trying to silence questions, they've ended up raising far more of them. This was the story of Pakistan's deleted list controversy, a case study that reveals how secrecy, propaganda, and digital traces collide in today's conflicts. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think is more dangerous for a country? Losing soldiers on the battlefield or losing trust by hiding the truth from its own people? Tell me your views in the comments below. And if you found this analysis valuable, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more deep dive discussions on global geopolitics. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious.